Now we have a wonderful opportunity to talk Ghost Recon Wildlands. We got dashing Dominic Butler.
Hi, how you doing?
Very well. Lead game designer on Ghost Recon Wildlands. You are here from Paris.
Yes, that's right.
Team's been working hard.
Working very hard. They're continuing to work in Paris. I've got the easy job. I'm just over here talking to you guys.
This isn't too shabby, eh?
It's not bad.
What do you
real work.
What do you think about the E3 experience so far?
It's good. It's wild. It's a little surreal with the noise and the lights and the heat, but it's great just to see everybody coming together. Lots of smiling faces.
Yeah.
And obviously we're excited because people are getting to play the demo for the first time. So
I got to play the demo for the first time last night as your demoists were going through the final rounds of training. It was Gabe and I. Gabe will be joining us a little bit later on, but there was a unique experience, and I know it was unique because of the way that your team reacted to it. So basically, you know, and I sort of mentioned this off the top.
Things, but go on. Yeah.
Well, and this is pretty special as well. So, you know, I apologize if you happen to be watching from the start. Thank you, obviously, for staying with us. But I did tell the story a little bit earlier on, and it just goes to speak to the unique experiences that come from Ghost Recon Wildlands. And so what happened was we were with our team leader, and we had split up into 2 squads, and we're trying to retrieve some intel in this camp.
Yep.
And so I was with the leader, and we were in really good shape, and we were picking off some of the snipers, just trying to make sure that the guys who were on the ground had room to operate.
Yeah, a bit more space. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, basic tactics at hand. Whatever happened, I don't know, but I got spotted.
Okay.
So there were some, you know, some support crews that came in.
Sure, the reinforcements.
Exactly, reinforcements that were coming in, and all of a sudden a helicopter rolls in.
Okay, yeah. Then
and that was, serious. I mean, that was some problematic stuff, and they had some sort of turret gun on the helicopter, and they mowed me down pretty quickly. I was done. Thankfully, our team lead brought me back up, revived me, new lease on life, all is well.
Ready to go.
I managed to retrieve the intel, so I get a little bit of more positive stock with my team.
Good work.
And then we go to extract.
Okay.
And that of a helicopter's back. I'm jumping on the back of a truck.
Sure.
My team, quality support, they shoot down the pilot in the helicopter.
Okay.
But while we're about to take off, that helicopter crashes onto my head, killing me.
Oh.
And the team was like, whoa, what do we do with that? And I was just like, what? I don't know what to do.
Well, see, that's the thing. When we're making a game like this, a game that's systemic, that's just massive and dangerous, we do get things like that happening on the floor. And there are it's not all the time, but there are moments when we kind of look at each other and go, "Is that a bug? Do we bug that or no? That's
a feature.
That's awesome.
It's a feature. Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
I do want to get some stories from you. I mean, we're going to get the chance to dive into this. We've got a nice community segment with a couple of your star players coming on, and we'll get to dig in a lot of fan questions as well. But
fantastic.
I'm curious from your perspective. I mean, you are in the nuts and bolts of everything.
Right.
As a lead game designer, you're involved in obviously all the systems and how everything comes together. So I want to know if you can share any sort of tidbits or like nuggets from the development process where, you know, these things have sort of surfaced and you're like, what was that? Where did that come from?
Sure. I guess that's a good question, because we have that many different systems. We've got like big macro systems that are going on, and then these little ones that are open there for the player, lots of opportunities to do different things. I guess, kind of put me on the spot, I think one of the examples was when very early on in the process, we got our vehicles working, because the world is just so big, right? It's this huge action-adventure open world. And so we got the vehicles working so that as devs, we could start traveling through the world, right? But in parallel, we got our items and tools working. So we had C4 and mines, and the team just had a ton of fun going like, well, what if I how many C4s can I put on this helicopter? And then if I jump out, and at the right time, we make it go boom. It's kind of this like falling ball of death. And and obviously it worked. And it's one of those like, we think it'll work, but we're not sure. And then we try it, and when it does, it's glorious.
It is beautiful. I'm told that we can look at that 360 camera right there. So let's just do a little hi, how are you? I don't know where that feed goes, but thumbs up.
I can't see that much with the light. So I'm kind of waving into
it is pretty bright. Yeah, it goes right to the brain. And I want to talk to you about, because obviously the open world itself, Bolivia is huge, and it's
huge. I think it's beautiful.
It is beautiful as well, and you guys are saying it is the biggest action adventure open world that Ubisoft has ever done.
Yeah, absolutely.
What does that mean?
Well, it's all there in that statement. Bolivia is an absolutely incredible place. In real life, we sent teams out there to explore it, to see it ourselves. We didn't just want to bring the guidebook, the tourist version of it. We sent the teams there with local people and understand what makes Bolivia tick. we maintain that relationship over time, and we've been able to bring a lot of that Bolivia to life. But what's really important is not the numbers so much, or saying, oh, it's the biggest, because it's just more and more, but it's really the different ecosystems, right? So like real Bolivia, it's kind of crazy, people don't believe it if they haven't seen it already, but in Bolivia you've got all these really wildly different ecosystems. You've got like swamps and really like lowlands, and they're kind of dangerous, and rivers that become very muddy. You've got highlands, you've got deserts, you've got salt, big huge salt deserts where lakes have dried up. You've got the death road, you've got snow peaks. My point of all of this is we've been able to bring these to life in the game, not just as a difference as you're traveling across this open world, so you see it evolve, you see it change, but really importantly, and it was the key part, we knew we were onto something good, was that it's like there's a different gameplay, right? At its core, Ghost Recon Wildlands, a tactical shooter. So we want to bring that tactical experience, not just from the AI, but also the environment is challenging you all the time, because you just can't play the same way in the snowy peaks as you will in a flat desert, in the jungle. You have to mix it up, right? So that's something that was really exciting.
Yeah, and I mean, getting around that open world is obviously, I mean, it's part of the joy.
Yep,
I don't know, I mean, we've seen motorcycles, we've seen some trucks, we've seen helicopters.
Sure.
What, are you talking about any of the other vehicles and ways to get around?
Without going into like massive detail right now, we've got like more than, I think it's 60 different vehicle types. We've got a range of civilian vehicles, army vehicles. We've got boats, bikes, buggies, planes, helicopters, trucks, armored trucks, military vehicles, tractors and farming vehicles and mining vehicles, and the stuff that you would expect to find in a world like this, right? It's not just built for the camp, it's for the world. And the cool thing is you get to play with all of it. You get to use whatever you found in whatever way you want. There's no restrictions. You play the way you want.
And I'm curious how the different like ecosystems play into the various kind of tactics that you want, that one might take. How does that change the experience?
So what it is the game is based around a freedom of choice, right? So what we want to make sure is that the players always have the option to achieve their objectives their way. We give them an overall goal. For example, we saw the E3 demo on the stage. We had the get puzzle arrow, right? So you had to go after this guy. It took us a while. We jumped to a point where we know he's somewhere in this camp. We have to go get him. And all we say to the players is, get this guy alive to this rally point, right? To this safe place. How you do that is completely up to you. So the environment is going to challenge you. We've got time of day. We've got traffic systems and world systems and all sorts of things running in parallel. The more the player kind of takes their time and digs into that, the more they're going to see those opportunities.
Have we talked about fail states at all? Like what happens if there's a high value target that you need to extract for intel? If you happen to kill them,
in some cases we are going to have to do a mission fail when that particular guy has very specific intel. But for the largest part, across most of the missions, the idea is to try to build them so that there's no way to fail, right? There's no wrong way to play Ghost Recon Wildlands. If you want to go in guns hot, do it. If you want to take your time, play it stealth, you want to role play it a bit, do it. And if you want to mix it up in the middle of the session, go ahead. There's no wrong way.
We want to bring in a couple of gentlemen who are part of the Star Player program. From my right to your left, we've got Punjistick and I.T.K.5. Gentlemen, I guess before we open it up and you can ask, obviously, Dominic questions. I want to get from you guys a bit of the experience that you've had so far as a Star Player and what you've been doing with, the community team here for Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time for me here at E3 ever.
Same.
Oh, ever. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm really enjoying it. I'm lucky enough to be part of the Ghost team. I think we're, that top tier group, but I'm just a little bit biased. But I'm really enjoying it here. We got a great community, and I was just lucky enough to get invited. And thanks Ubisoft.
and you, Punjistick?
I mean, I've been a Twitch broadcaster partner for about a year and a half now, and mostly on Tom Clancy titles. Had veered off a little waiting for Rainbow Six Siege to come out, did a couple other shooters, but came back for Siege, and then once I started hearing about Wildlands, got real excited.
And we had the opportunity to chat with Richard Dansky, who's a central Clancy writer. He works across, most of the Clancy titles, and we were talking about sort of player freedom and whatnot. And I'm curious from your perspective, what it is that you see from Ghost Recon Wildlands that is satisfying that Clancy itch, because authenticity is obviously at the forefront of any Clancy title, and here it is. They're trying to match the authenticity with whatever it is that you want to do in this world of Bolivia.
I'm excited to get around and make a lot of my own decisions on a big open landscape with a few friends. A little bit more late. I mean, I've been doing Siege now for 6 months, and it's a lot of sweaty
same
coordination thing all the time. And Wildlands just looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Like we'll be able to do a lot of creative things, get together with some friends, and do a lot of great multi-stream type things. And I think it'll be really, really entertaining. And it looks very, really satisfies that gear psychoness thing. I have a Peltor Contact headset. I'm so excited right now, and
Punjistick touched on something that I do want to ask you as well, and it speaks to, I guess, the tone, right? Some Clancy games, you have to be, super serious. There's no real messing around in Rainbow Six. You get some of those fun opportunities, we saw from the conference, whatever, an explosive goes off and something funny happens. But I think a game like this, an open-world game that allows such freedom, I mean, you're going to get some crazy shit happening, like a helicopter falling on your head.
It's going to happen, but I think that's part of the joy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just to see what's going to happen. When I push this, and if I keep poking it, what's going to happen?
Oh, yeah. I mean, first second of playing, I said, "Can I shoot the goats?" And I could. There it was.
Why would you shoot the goats?
I had to. Weapons check.
The question is, do you intend to shoot the goats again, or have you?
No, of course not. That's terrible.
That would be not
be
cool.
awful.
It's for the DLC.
Yeah.
Ghost Recon.
Ghost Recon.
So, we talk about the Ghost Recon community, and Arnaud and Emma have done a great job of interacting with you guys, and I'm sure from the dev team perspective, that feedback that comes from the most hardcore, the most passionate, it may not always be positive, but it's always constructive. It helps you build. I want to hear a little bit more about the Breakfast Club, because we touched on it last year, and that is an incredibly unique opportunity where before a game is even announced, you're getting brought into the studio and shown the world.
Right.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So last year about this time, Emma contacted us, and all of us were like, wait, is this for reals? A lot of us still play Future Soldier, so we're waiting for the next big title, next big Ghost Recon, and we got the email and a call, and
we hadn't announced yet. We hadn't announced yet. So
No.
it was still a secret.
It was completely surprised. Yeah. So we get invited and say, hey, you're invited to come to Paris, our studio here in Paris. We're like, okay. And we were guessing, we were hoping that it was, because it's Ghost Recon guys that got invited. And so we got invited, and we played the build we got to play was on point. I mean, the AI was so smart. I was like, man, I'm getting killed. We didn't rush in, but I still got killed right off the bat. And I was like, what's going on here?
And you guys
am
are
I that
pros.
bad?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So,
You're not that bad.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Sounds terrible.
so we got in, and we were lucky enough to keep in contact with Emma, pretty much on a daily basis, and we stay in contact through, Skype calls and stuff, and they're asking for our feedback, and that's the cool thing. I think that's really putting Wildlands together is it's a community that's giving, Dominic and Nordine, all of them hey, this is the way you need to do it. And they're listening. I mean, I was playing it today. They listened, and the build is good. It's there. You guys gonna like it, man.
How does that feel to hear?
It's fantastic. It always makes it's a positive thing. But honestly, it's not the first time we hear it. But it never gets old. But it's important because Ghost Recon's been around for a long time. But a lot of the guys that have worked on Wildlands are the guys that made Future Soldier. They've worked on the brand for a long time, 10+ years, just on the brand. So they know what Ghost Recon is. They know what the brand is. And they're the ones who are kind of the most apprehensive about changing too much of the formula, while at the same time keeping it.
It's a delicate balance. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to kind of jump on the next big thing. And they knew that they wanted to go open with it, but they didn't want to lose that tactical approach, that military shooter, that idea of teamwork. And so it's been a balance, and we were genuinely, no kidding, super nervous. Like, you guys were apprehensive about coming. we were really nervous about having these guys come, who just like cursory search. Some of us knew them from the online, from the forums. It was like, these guys are like, they play all the time. They're still playing the old games like every weekend.
Yeah, they were saying that he's still playing Future
still
Soldier.
Running tournaments, still
Every
running,
Friday night, we're still playing
events.
Future Soldier.
Yeah.
So these are this is the real thing. It's the real deal, you know. And so these guys are coming in and they put their hands on it, and that was like just tons and tons of feedback. And some of it was like, yes, that's absolutely the way we're going, and other stuff we hadn't thought about. But the core bit was, it feels like Ghost Recon.
Yeah.
You know, and that was like, okay, validation. This is right.
Yeah.
We know we're doing something that they want to play, that we want to make, you know. And that was really important to us.
That's crucial. I quickly want to give a plug to the masterclass tonight, which is the special ops night.
Yes.
Clancy, you got Ghost Recon Wildlands, you got Rainbow Six Siege, and of course you've got the Division as well. Gentlemen, I know that you guys have some questions that you want to share with Dominic as well.
Certainly
so, yeah, let's throw them his way. Oh, it's on paper.
You know, and
serious.
And this is from the community. You know, I mean, from the forums, to Facebook posts, Twitter announcements. You know, just the French, every forum you can think of, and we kind of try to cover all of that. I mean, that's the whole Breakfast Club. That's how it works. You know, we're different, come from different communities, but we all come together to try to help you guys create the best game that we can do.
I have no idea what the Breakfast Club is, so I'm just going to smile.
Well, quickly, I mean, we touched on it a little bit earlier. The Breakfast Club was a group of incredibly hardcore Ghost Recon fans that they brought to the studio right before the reveal last year. And actually, you guys had some of your names in the trailer.
I've been playing Ghost Recon since the first, but are still playing it like community sessions, running live streams, running community.
I got you.
events.
Okay.
All right, so let's see what you got.
So we got, this is from the Ghost Recon forum on ghostrecon.com. But so they're asking, will you be able to customize your character, male or female, or both? You know what I'm saying?
So, good question. Absolutely. The Ghost Recon Wildlands is, we said it before, but it's really important. It's total freedom of choice, right? So it's macro, it's the micro, but it starts with your ghost. You're gonna, from the get-go, be able to customize your gender, your race, the gear you're wearing, your loadout, and as you develop in the game, get better weapons, tools, access to just fun toys. But yeah, absolutely. From the beginning, full customization.
So Laura, see, you're getting a female character. Okay.
Absolutely.
That's what she's been
I
wanting for a
play
long
as a
time.
female every day. That's
Yeah, that's right.
All right, let's get one from Punji now.
All right. This is one of the ones from Reddit.
Great.
And kind of along with that first question, but will characters be able to bring, so you customize your character, you earn tools and get all that stuff.
All that cool
Can
stuff.
you bring all that into somebody else's campaign and mode, or will you have to like start fresh with them and do a separate profile? Or, you know, so if I'm building my character in single player and then I want to play with him, do we have to jump in together or with all the same stuff?
So, short answer, absolutely. What you do at the start, you have your progression, you have your character, you have your narrative progression, everything that you've done to make your character bigger, badder, better.
Okay.
You retain that all the time. We don't have the concept of a solo or a co-op or any kind of split.
So you just have a standing character.
Standing character, and that's what you bring with you to the session. So, you know, if we'd started already, the four of us decided to play, but we'd already been playing it from launch, and you guys, I don't know why you would, but you were late, you know, getting in. You got it the next weekend, something like that.
Let's do a realistic scenario. Like we get tired of playing with you and we just want to do our own thing, find two better players.
That works exactly the same the other way. Let's say we all started together, and then for whatever reason, you figured out that I'm not that good at the game, and you
I mean, after hearing about him dying, like right at the start,
it's just I know. We humor him for a bit, and then we go. And then the real play starts. The point is that you keep playing, but by playing by yourself, you're going to be supported by 3 AI teammates because the world is just too dangerous. You're always in a team. But even if you're playing solo, you're playing offline essentially. That's fine. You continue playing exactly as you were when it was all of us together. If the following day we all meet up, you come back in and there's that weird awkward pause where we realize you've been playing without us. but it's fine.
Where'd
We
you
just
get that?
continue
Did you get that new scope, man? Where'd that come from? That looks pretty nice in your
I
AK
don't know.
there.
I just turned on the game and it was there. And
I thought it was a DLC. Yeah.
Gentlemen, I am sorry, we are out of time. You will have the
all right.
opportunity to ask your questions. Obviously, the master class is tonight.
Yep.
It is the Clancy Special Ops Night with Ghost Recon Wildlands, Rainbow Six Siege, and of course the Division. That'll be at 8:30. We will carry it live right here on the stream. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got Gabe joining us from the South Park booth right over there. Gabe, what you got?